Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Founders and Creators Podcast. Today on our show, we have Jeff, aka Dammit Jeff. He is a YouTube creator who creates videos talking about taking apart and repairing tech. Some of his most popular videos include modding controllers, fixing Joy-Con drift, and more. His channel, Dammit Jeff, has around 80,000 subscribers and almost 12 million views. Jeff, welcome to the show. How's it going today?
It's doing good. Glad to be here.
Great. I'm so happy to have this conversation with you. Let's just get right down into it. How did you get started on YouTube?
Okay, so I've always been super obsessed with tech stuff since I was like a kid. Like I've always liked being able to look and, having fun with the MacBooks and laptops, computers, video games, all that stuff. Around 2018, I wanted to try into getting into repairing them, fixing them, taking them apart. So I started learning that by myself just off of YouTube. And so I would just take little things like iPhone screens, charging ports, iPad screens, MacBook batteries, stuff like that. And I started posting little videos of what I would be doing. Like, hey guys, check out this, just showing off my friends. Check out this thing that I'm taking apart, or check out this screen that's broken, or check out this phone that I'm fixing. And over time, I got pretty good at it. I started posting little videos. My friends really liked them. He said, this is dope. Can you do mine? This is dope. Can you do mine? After a while, my friends were just like, hey, dude, you should really think about maybe starting a YouTube channel. Like, you're really good at this stuff. Your presentation is really nice. It'd just be really cool to give it a shot. And we're like, I was hesitant at first, but over time, I gave it a shot. I was like, okay, yeah, for sure, I'll do it. So I started my YouTube channel at first, literally just to be able to show off to my friends what projects I'm working on at the moment. So which is why if you go back and you look at my old videos, you can see that there's no flashy titles or there's no flashy thumbnails. It's literally just a picture of the thing that I was working on in that video. So I would just be making those just to show off my friends, and they really liked them. But soon enough, I posted my first video, and that thing exploded. I posted my second video, and that one exploded. Third video, that one exploded, and just kept going on and on until 2 years later down the road. It's going to be 2 years in January. Here I am, and I'm doing it full time now. So that's pretty cool. That's how I started.
That's awesome. That's so neat. So I know a few people that had a similar story where they created these videos for their friends or maybe family members, and then a lot of people were watching the video and they were like, you know what, I should do this. So that's pretty cool. So you talked a little bit about the tech repair aspect. Was there something that, got you into that? Was there somebody like, maybe a family member, friend, or have you just always been into that kind of stuff?
No, at first it was really scary. I remember back then, right? What really kicked this off, this whole thing, was that I had an iPhone 6S that was cracked. Right. Mm-hmm. And at the time I loved tech, but I didn't know I wasn't comfortable taking it apart. So I was very scared when the screen cracked and they told me it'd be $150 to fix it. I kind of got tired and I was like, guess I'm getting a new phone then. And then I got a new phone. It was the iPhone 10. And after a while, I kind of felt, I was using my phone. I kind of forgot my 6S, but then I saw one and I was like, I wonder how much a screen costs for this thing. And surprisingly, this is 2018 money, right? Obviously, inflation has kind of messed up the way things cost right now.
Right.
But 2018, an iPhone 6S screen cost about $13. And I was like, wait, hold on. $13, you say? So I ordered it just to give it a try. And I bought this iFixit toolkit, right? Just to see what it was like. I bought this iFixit toolkit. I was like, let me see what's in here or whatever, right? I showed it to my mother. I was like, check it out. It's a toolkit that has all these tools on it. She's like, how much was that? I was like, $70. She's like, $70? That seems like a lot of money for a toolkit. Little did she know that one toolkit would get me to where I am today. Legitimately. I use that toolkit in every single one of my videos. Anyways, so I took it apart and I was like, I'm just going to film me doing the entire thing, right? I had a $300 camera. I think it's still around here. This is the camera that I started it all in. It's a $300 Sony a6000.
Nice. Yeah, I'm familiar with it.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
So I just filmed the whole thing, put it on my Instagram, and they're like, dude, that's great. That's awesome. Can you do mine? How much you charge for mine? And then it just kind of went from there. Then I went to charging ports, then cameras, stuff like that, and just kept going. And then again, it led over to YouTube. YouTube did its own thing and just went from there.
That's very, very interesting. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that Instagram thing, especially. So did you, because I'm really into all the social medias. I try and stay as into it as much as possible, but I know a lot of people are doing the Instagram video as well. Is that anything that you kind of were interested in? I mean, obviously that was back in what you said, 2018 or something. Yeah. 18. So that was before they did that. However, or maybe it was.
It was right at the beginning. It was right at the beginning.
Okay.
We're like, let's try IGTV and
Yeah.
putting
Yeah.
in all the video stuff that they have now. They're pushing it way more than they did before. But
Right.
yeah, it
Right.
was right at the beginning.
Okay. Now, was there a reason that you switched from IGTV to YouTube? Was there a particular reason?
Um, Mostly because the way that I would do it, I wouldn't be doing IGTV, as I would just be doing Instagram stories.
Oh,
And
okay. I see.
it was great to show off to my friends and like the people that were interested in that, exactly what I was getting hold of. And
Hmm.
for the most part, a lot of people that watched them reached out and said, I really enjoy them. But the discoverability isn't there.
Right.
For me, Instagram and IGTV, the discoverability wasn't there at the level that YouTube was.
Right.
So eventually I realized if I wanted to show off more people what I'm doing, I would have to move to a different platform, which is why I moved over to YouTube and I gave YouTube a shot.
Hmm. That's a great answer, great perspective. I actually was just talking to somebody the other day about that exact discussion, because they have a lot of Instagram followers, but they kind of got a bunch and then they've had the same number for like a long time. And I was like, well, you should try, experimenting with YouTube, because with the algorithm and how you can show up in search with a very small channel, the discoverability is fantastic. So I'm glad you mentioned that. That's cool. So
Yeah.
go
So
ahead.
I was gonna comment on that real quick.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So like I said, if for the most part for me, the people that watch my stuff, if you have a bunch of followers already, it's great. But like you can't gather more without
Hmm.
some sort of external source pushing it in. So that's why I decided to start switching over. That the day that I realized, oh crap, I'm not gonna be able to reach as many people as I wanted to, is the day that I switched over.
But did you experiment with other social medias, or did you just go straight to YouTube?
Uh, I think I just went straight to YouTube, honestly. I don't have a Facebook, so if someone says they have, I don't. So I don't do that. I put on Twitter, but I don't really post it that much. It was just like Twitter's just to where you put your, it's like your silly tweets, like your silly thoughts about other things.
Right.
So yeah, for me it was just Instagram because it was the best way to be able to spread what I was doing.
Oh, cool. Sweet. No, that's a very interesting beginner story, or
Yeah, yeah, because again,
superhero.
we're still in this area. We're still in like the intro phase of like pre YouTube. That again, not many people know that I was doing before I was gotten to YouTube.
Right, right. No, that's fascinating. That's really cool. So to shift gears a little bit, a lot of your videos feature these small tads of humor. If you're watching and you haven't watched any of his videos, you have to, because you'll be watching one and then out of nowhere there'll be a hilarious joke and I'll start laughing. It's great, but it really brings out your personality in the videos. For example, in your PS4 controller video, you roast yourself by saying that the controller will fall apart like your last relationship. So I think that stuff's hilarious and it makes the video so much more interesting. Is humor in particular something that you focus on, or does it just come naturally in your creative process?
So I really like the being able to put in those little jokes or whatever. One of my favorite ones is in the PS4 jailbreak video. I put one where I was talking about Bloodborne Kart being out soon, and like Bloodborne Kart's not a real game, but just the idea of like something so
Right.
absurd like that becoming a kart game is just so funny to me. But I don't know. For me, it's like by nature, a lot of the tech repair and the tech fixing and tech modding stuff videos, just because of the nature of the medium and the stuff that we're talking about, is usually kind of dry, kind of bland.
Mhm.
In my opinion, at least. So there's little humor moments that I can sneak in that I feel like is the very few times where I can show off a bit of my own personality in the videos. Sometimes when I'm taking something apart or when I'm showing off how to do something, there's certain things that happen when I'm assembling it or I'm like taking it apart. Where I go, that would be a pretty funny joke. Let me try and keep that in, And I usually show off and I run it off to my buddies and I show them what I made in the video. And if they like it, I tend to keep it in. But that relatability of being able to be like jokey and not as serious about the whole subject matter is, not taking things too seriously, I think is what keeps the viewers coming back. It just,
Right.
the relatability, people say, hey, I'm not taking this too seriously.
Right. Right. It's like your friend helping you repair something,
Yeah.
not some guy that you don't know and you're like, oh God, like should I trust them? Things like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
No, that's super cool, because I I I have tried to repair my phone. Well, this is actually
What you
one of
got
my
there?
this is one of my newer phones. This is the iPhone 12. It's the one with the multiple cameras.
Oh, sick. Yeah,
Oops,
no,
I
I
just
love
dropped
it.
it. But before this, I had I think it was the 6 or 7, but it was the same thing. I had a screen issue and I tried to get it repaired. and I went to this one guy, and I had no idea what he was talking about. And it's almost like a car mechanic, you know, like you don't know if you can trust them. I know that sounds bad, but like I know
No,
a
no, I
lot of
get it.
times they're honest and stuff like that. And you know, like, but my car technician is the same guy I've been going to for years because I found him, I trust him, and things like that. So for you, in your instance, I could totally see where viewers are like, I trust this guy now. He's funny, he's honest. You know, he brings a little flavor to the videos, and they keep coming back for more.
Yeah, no, for sure. I try my best to be able to. I mean, I tell this to my friends all the time because you're like, what makes your videos differently from everyone else that's doing the same thing? For me, it's like I want to be able to. The best way I can explain is like if a normie were to watch my video, someone who doesn't know what the heck I'm talking about, right,
Hmm.
can watch my videos and stay either entertained or informed. That means I've done my job correctly. That's my big thing. I want to be able to have people who has no idea what this stuff is, who no idea what taking part things are, and be able to be like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's starting to understand. Starting to understand a little bit more.
Yeah, no, that's a great perspective to have with your viewers. I think more tech people or tech channels should focus on that aspect because I think that relatability definitely distinguishes you, you know, with your competition, things like that.
Yeah.
So with that being said, how do you come up with your ideas for your videos? Do you just have like a broken phone and you're like, I need to fix this? Or is there something, is there a creative process that goes behind that?
So funny you mention that actually. I actually have a full video that's coming out and I'm going to explain this piece by piece exactly what I do. But just for you, I'll give you the condensed version here. So
Oh, cool.
it starts off with an idea, right? Usually it comes from a forum that I follow or something on Reddit that I see or something on Twitter or something on YouTube that's really popping off, right?
Hmm.
And but the big thing that I want to keep in this idea is that basically if I find it cool, surely there's going to be a group of people that find it cool too, right? That also find it really really cool. That's my big thing. If I find a thing, I look at it and go, that's kind of cool. That's kind of neat, right? I want other people to know that. I surely must know that other people be interested in the same thing. Or maybe it's a topic that I'll go into this a little bit more, but other people have covered this topic on YouTube. You can search up other people making videos on it. But sometimes I look at those videos and I go, either one, they're not very informative, or I look at their perspective and their presentation and I go, I think I can do that better. That sounds very self-conscious to say, but I see it and I go, I think I can do a better job at displaying that information. So I do. All right. Then comes doing the thing, right? So I figured out what idea I want. Then I got to go do the thing. That usually involves ordering something, ordering the parts for whatever I need, taking something apart, reviewing it, etc. There's a whole process that goes into filming with the camera work and the microphone and making sure that the environment and the setting and all that stuff, the
Hmm.
table's clean. That's a whole other thing of itself. But basically, it's film everything. Film everything from start to finish, the entire process all the way through. Because you never know when you're going to want to keep something in or when you're not going to want something in.
Right.
So, yeah. And again, I want to be able to give, like I said, the viewer an honest perspective on how something looks from start to finish. After I finish out filming everything, right, then comes scripting, which is, it gives me an opportunity to be able to collect my thoughts on what I thought was what the video should be about, or how to want to, like, angle this, right, to see like what angle I want to give the video, right?
Hmm.
So it's just, step by step what I'm doing in the video. And then after that, depending on the project, it's either a voiceover that I just record on Adobe Audition. I know a lot of you guys like Audacity. I just can't wrap my head around that ugly UI, man. It's
That's all
just
right.
too ugly, man. But yeah, Adobe Audition, or if it's a talking head scene where I just literally sit in front of a camera like this and I just talk, right?
Hmm.
What do you call it? That means video camera, microphone. I have to sync it up and post and all that stuff. And it's the whole thing. Talking head takes just a lot longer than voiceover. So if I
Yeah.
get the opportunity to, I tend to prefer voiceover.
That's interesting. Well,
Yeah.
well, before you continue, I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Yeah, no, for sure.
it's interesting that you do the voiceover after, you know, like you do all the filming and then you do the voiceover. So do you have like a brief script before that you look at, or do you literally just, I'm going to repair this, you know, videotape it, and then in the end, that's when you do that? Because like I
Yeah,
know a
no.
lot of people that kind of do it different, and that's why I'm curious with how
Yeah.
that works.
So I just go straight into it. I say I'm gonna do the thing, and then I'll find the story along the way.
That's
Right,
cool.
from
That's
beginning,
good.
middle,
Yeah.
end. Right.
Hmm.
At the end of it, I can look at all the footage and see what story is here, what story is being told here.
Hmm.
Right. Um, and that's kind of where I get my little funny bits for people to make little jokes here and there, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I kind of just go in blind. I have a general idea, so I want a beginning, a middle, of end. So I
Hmm.
say, this is a thing, this is what we're going to be doing, and here's what it looks like at the end.
That's cool.
And I
No,
go
that's
from there.
it's a very raw way of doing that, but I think that that could definitely work, especially in your position with how you film and like and do it like that. That's cool.
So after that, right?
Hmm.
So voiceover is done. Then I got to put it all together in Adobe Premiere, right? I use
Hmm.
Adobe Premiere to edit my stuff. Then comes color grading. Then comes exporting. And usually while it's exporting, I go out of my way to go start designing the thumbnails. I usually make 2 or 3. I have pictures of like whatever project we're working on. I have 2 or 3 thumbnails that I make to see which one would look the best. And then, I just pick whichever one I like the most. And after that, it's uploading. And then there's the completed video. So to summarize, find the idea, order the stuff, film me doing the thing, scripting, voiceover, editing, color grading, thumbnail, and then finally uploading.
Nice.
Which is, it's kind of why there's such big gaps in my uploads for me. Like this whole process to make a really good, well thought out video that I would be proud of
Hmm.
takes about anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks usually.
Wow.
And from what my viewers tell me, it does show that I'm putting
Oh, it
clearly a lot of
100%, 100%. No, I could show instantly. When I started doing my little research I do before these things, I was like, wow, the quality in your videos are like amazing, just because you take every little detail and you try and make it as perfect as it could be. And that's something that a lot of people don't do nowadays. So it definitely sets you way, way apart from everybody else. And you
right.
should be really proud of that. That's awesome.
Thank you. I'm in the process right now of trying to shorten that out wherever I
Hmm.
can, like outsourcing or whatever. Just getting a little like a second pair of hands to be able to help me with something else. But as of right now, that's what my workflow looks like.
Okay, cool. No, that's a great answer. And you went all into it.
Yeah,
So
hopefully,
cool.
but hopefully by next year, or maybe 2 years from now, we could do this interview again, and I can tell you, oh yeah, I just show up and do my thing, and I get like
Yeah,
7 other people to take care of
great.
it.
All right, 2 years from now, mark your calendar. I'll have you on and we'll talk about
Bet
that.
you got it.
So, um, so to shift gears again, YouTube polls and community posts. So I see you're on there all the time. How do you use those things to help your channel, and what is your strategy like with those things?
So with community posts, I know a lot of people try to use community posts to try and game the system and like, be like, yeah, just get in front of as many people as possible, this and that. I find the best results that I found with it is to be using it the way it's intended to be, as in literally, I just use it as a platform to be able to talk to my viewers and my fans
Hmm.
when I'm not making a video, right? Because there's such long gaps in between when I make my video. So for me, it's just let me just try and I just use the way it's intended to say, hey guys, this is what I'm up to. Hey guys, check out this project that I'm working on. Hey guys, check out this can of soda I'm drinking. I don't know. Like it all depends on what I'm working on at the time, but I never want to be like, hey, like here's a really shallow poll that I'm
Right.
just not gonna like never gonna, be functional or do anything for you
Hmm.
guys and then just spamming up your feed.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, I think that's a good point. I mean, it is intended to be that community organizer, or a place to have your thoughts and communicate with your community. So I think a lot of people are doing it not wrong, but maybe not right. Like if
As
you go to
intended.
yours, yeah. If people go to your channel and they go to the community post, like it's very fluid, it's natural, things like that. I try and do something similar with my channel, where I do mainly polls, but the polls I try to make all related to real estate or the content that I'm going to be providing. So
Yeah.
it's more like on brand, because yeah, nothing's worse than those polls that have no relevance to the channel or the audience or anything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how I feel in that shot, speak, practice what you preach. So that's what I'm trying to do. I just use it to hit up, say, hey guys, what's up? What's new? That's it.
No, that's cool. That's very cool, and that's very on brand with kind of your channel. So it's good that you're living that. Um, so another question I had is, you're killing it with these sponsorships. So you got Skillshare, Amaze, NordVPN. Is
Thank you.
there any advice you would give other creators on how to find sponsorships?
See, that's a really tricky one because you know, when I came into this field, I kind of realized very early that there is not a lot of information on how to do the whole sponsorship thing. And here's the thing: you go look up on YouTube, you know, how to get sponsorships and stuff like that, and you get channels that are very vague. I mean, they say, yeah, here's a 10-minute video, how to get sponsorship, how to land, but they're very, very vague as to what to ask for, how much money you should be asking for, how many, what the company is looking for in exchange, so you can understand their needs better, and you know how to go along with doing them. You know what I mean? People, when they think sponsors, they just think, oh, you make a video and then you talk about this and you talk about that, but there's like so much stuff wrapped in an NDA that I can't talk about, which is really annoying. And that's kind of why I feel like if I'm having this trouble, everyone else is probably having this trouble too. But the best thing I could probably give to people would just say, first off, you need to understand where the sponsor's requirements and what they're looking for is. For the most part, most of them are really only interested if you have at least a minimum of like 50,000 views. That's usually when they start hitting you up and say like, hey, like, what's up? Can we do something? Blah, blah, blah. Right? Secondly, I guess it would just be like, again, they want to be able to see your audience and make sure that they're interactive and all that stuff. So for most people who see somebody with 500 views, 1,000 views, most of the time it's not going to be worth their time. But if you want to go under 50,000, maybe 10 to 45,000 or whatever, you could probably get something still done, right? It's just not going to be super crazy, or they might just give you a product in exchange for video. There's so many people out there that'll try and get you product in exchange for video, and 99% of the time it's just crappy, like AliExpress stuff, like Alibaba products that are trying to pass off and say, hey, we'll give you this in exchange for free video. And they make it sound like they're doing you a favor, which they're not. They're not. Believe me, you're getting swindled much faster. Much worse than you're swindling them.
Right.
But I guess for me would be talk about, viewer requirements, right? How much are they looking for? Around 50K to start hitting you up, right? Secondly is stand by your price. Stand by, but again, I can't go into too specifics, right? I will say this though. When I first got my first sponsorship offer, right? They asked me, how much do you charge? And I said to myself, oh man, I don't know. I went to my buddies, my manager who works in, I have a manager now, who works in this stuff. I said, listen, this guy offered me, asked me how much I want. Do you think $300 would be too much? Right? He's like, $300? You're smoking. Nah, no, absolutely not. And then he talked to me. So I want to make it very clear for anyone who's watching this. Sponsors don't work in the hundreds range. Okay. I can't give very vague very specific number because of NDAs and all that stuff, but they don't work by hundreds. Okay. They work by thousands. 90% of the time they work by thousands. So pitch yourself at the thousands level because they already have that budget allocated for you. Don't even worry about it. If they don't want to, that's fine. There's somebody else that will eventually come by and do that and give you what you're asking for.
Wow. No, that's awesome. So thank you for that. That's very informative. I think a lot of people are going to hear that and now understand, because like you said, there's not that many resources about that kind of stuff. So for you to give that real life perspective, that's very insightful. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I guess one more thing about that is when these sponsorships do come up, because now you're in this position where you can pick and choose. I mean, in the beginning, it was kind of like, whatever I can get, but now you're kind of in that advanced level, or, whatever you want to call it. I realize there's NDAs involved, but is there sponsorships that you think, and I'm not talking about money wise, but maybe you're not a fan of their product and maybe you're not going to work with, like, you don't have to name names, but has that ever come up where you're like, maybe not, I'm just not a big fan of the brand? Or are you just like, I'll take, whatever? What's your perspective on that?
So like you said, as of now, I'm very fortunate enough to be able to be like, I want to get this one, but not this one. Mm-hmm. It's gone to the point where I'm getting, where I have to, again, outsource this to a manager to be able to manage like the best offers and the best deals for me now. Mm-hmm. But for me, there has been 2 times on occasion that let's just say it was a really crappy mobile app. Really crappy mobile app that I know for a fact nobody would be playing if not for the fact that they have a huge budgeting thing. It's not the one you're thinking. It's not that. It's not that one.
Right. I was thinking it was like sponsored by. No, I'm not even gonna say.
It's not that one. It's a whole other one that just like no one would ever talk to, but they had a bunch of money to be able to pay out and give. And I know for a fact that if I were to post that on there, like people will be like, what does this have to do with literally anything that we're talking about?
Right.
Or not integrate it in a way that I can at least show it off and show like, hey, I stand by this product because I tried it myself, right?
Right.
Again, I won't name names, but there are certain companies out there that will just straight up say, tell them how much you like this and that your favorite thing is this. All right. Avoid, and some of them have clauses saying, avoid speaking negatively of this product in any way. And those
Wow.
are usually big red flags that make me go,
Yeah.
if you're making me not want to talk about those, that makes me feel like you're not, being honest about that. And how do you expect me to be honest to my viewers if you're not being honest with me?
Right.
That's it. Right.
Yeah.
But for me personally, like I said, there's like very few times that happens. Most of the time, 9% of the time, they're honest people, honest business people that are just trying to say, here, have some money in exchange for showing off our brand on your video. That's
No.
it.
Cool. No, that's a great answer. That's some useful information. So another question I had personally is about other channels on YouTube and kind of the atmosphere. Is there a YouTube channel in particular that inspired you in the beginning, or maybe one that you really enjoy right now?
So there's a couple actually. I actually named a couple here that I was thinking of.
Sure.
I'd like to think to my, I like to, right? Maybe I don't, but I like to people that the same people that are watching me are also watching these other creators.
Hmm.
A lot of them that I really like is just people that are just into disassembly, right to repair, modifying and fixing and taking apart things. Big ones, definitely the big names are here, like Spawnwave, Modern Vintage Gamer, Hugh Jeffries, uh, Tronics Fix. You know, I mean, those guys are all super chill. A lot of people say that they see a lot of similarities in my content to Jerry Rig Everything.
Hmm.
I don't watch him all the time, but I do see there's a lot of like I do see like, you know, a bit of inspiration from there too, just because I like the way that he's able to stand by right to repair, taking things apart and being comfortable with that. And all the people I named, Modern Vintage Gamer, Spawnwave, Hugh Jeffries, Tronics Fix, all these people have the same thing in common, which is they're comfortable enough with taking things apart and showing you, hey, it's not that scary. Check it out. Look, you see, it's no big deal, right? Um, so yeah, I like to think that I'm in the same space as them, but although not nearly as big as any of them. Another one that inspires me, however, not directly related to what I do,
Hmm.
is Adam Ragusia. Which, are you familiar with Adam Ragusia?
I've heard his name. I haven't watched any of his videos.
So he is a cook. Actually,
Oh.
he's a cooking channel. He's a cooking
Hmm.
channel. So he just does cooking videos, and which is fine, right? But for me, it's not so much the content of itself that inspires me, or like that I take from his inspiration.
Hmm.
It's more of his presentation of how he does his videos. So he doesn't waste anyone's time and goes straight direct to the point. He's very direct with how he talks to the camera, direct to how he talks to the viewer, right? Not wasting time. If you check any of his videos, he says, this is the video that we're making. I mean, this is the thing that we're making. It's going to start with 2 cups of this, 3 cups of this. And the other one's like 7 or 10 seconds. We're already talking about what we're going to be doing in that video.
Those are the best kind of videos.
The ones that don't waste your time and
Hmm.
just get straight to the point are my favorite. And I try to be able to honor that in my videos too. So that way it just feels like, okay, I'm not wasting anyone's time here. I want you to be able to come back and see the next video that I make.
Yeah. No, that's cool. No, I'll have to check him out because my wife and I, we love cooking.
Oh,
So
yeah. He's great. He's
we'll
great.
we'll definitely check that out. I guess you mentioned it a little bit, the right to repair. Could you explain that a little bit? Because that's a huge movement, and I know there was something recently with Apple that they announced that they're going to do their own thing. I know we're kind of going off topic a little bit, but I think that's
No. This is
important
my
that everybody's aware of kind of what that is.
Yeah, this is my area for sure. Because again, without right to repair, I would not be doing what I'm doing today. So for sure, right to repair is basically the movement saying that you, as a person, when you buy an item, like say an iPhone or something, you have the right to be able to take that thing apart, replace it with other parts that aren't by that company, right? Replace it with any other parts, do whatever you want with it, and it not have to be compromised in any sort of way for you to be able to do that. The best examples I could give probably are well, they fixed it in the iPhone recently, but I guess the best way I could say is like it's the MacBooks, right? The MacBooks are almost notoriously known for not being able to fix or replace or remove
Hmm.
anything, because I'm not going to say that they're not completely user replaceable, because there are certain things like the USB ports, the screen, the battery, right, the keyboard, that are technically replaceable. But the thing is, not only are they unnecessarily difficult to do so, that the average person would never in a million years even bother to open it up for fear of trying to get that thing busted, but the parts are nowhere to be found because they keep that stuff proprietary, because of no matter what reasons,
Yeah.
right? And again, a big one was, again, recently with the iPhone 13. I actually have one right here. It's terrible, I know, right? But it's okay. I know where to get stuff for this. Don't even worry. I know where to get parts for that thing. But a big one for the iPhone 13 was that they fixed it now. But at the beginning, if you were to replace a screen on it, Face ID would just automatically break.
Wow.
For no reason. For just no other than just, we don't want you having Face ID if you fix your screen.
Jeez.
Which is terrible.
That's horrible. I didn't know that. Wow.
Now, for some people, right, activists of not right to repair, I guess, would say something like, hey, it's because of security, because, we don't want anyone to be able to just swap out the screen and maybe compromise being able for you to use Face ID or trick it or whatever, right? But we did find later on that it's literally just a little chip in the bottom of the screen that just needs to be desoldered and then resoldered on to be able to bypass that. So
Wow.
if they were to go by that logic of it was just because of security measures, it means two things. Either one, security wasn't actually one of the main priorities because it was terrible security if all it takes is to desolder and resolder a chip, right? Mm-hmm. So it was crappy security to begin with. Or two, it wasn't about security. And it was more about making sure that they have control over every single aspect of this phone from life to death, whether that be screen repairs, battery repairs, being able to own it, put in whatever crappy Chinese screen you want on this thing, right? Because there's a lot of Chinese, screens that you can use this to replace it. You should, if you want to do that, you should have the right to be able to do that. And I stand by that a lot. Mostly because, you own your products. And I want to be able to, if something happens down the line, I don't want to be able to have to rely on another company to be able to take that thing apart or, doing
no, that's wow. That's very informative. I didn't know that much, especially not with the iPhone recently. Yeah. So that's super important. I'm happy that you're so passionate about that. And there are people that kind of do talk about those things, because I agree. If I buy a phone or a computer, I should be able to repair it, or even take it to somebody that can get the parts and repair it themselves. It's crazy that well, I guess, has it shifted? So Apple announced something. Did you kind of look into that? Yeah. Tell me about that. Let me tell you about
that. I remain skeptical just because here's the thing. I know how much it costs to be able to fix these screens, right? Mm-hmm. And I know that Apple, by definition, already has really expensive markups on a lot of things. The way I see it, from what I've heard, they're probably going to make these screens and these parts available at the same price that people in the companies in the a repair program, whatever, certified Apple repairs or whatever, mm-hmm. right, are probably paying for them, right? And if I know that's right, I know something like an iPhone 13 screen or an iPhone 12 screen or an iPhone 11 screen, I know for a fact it's going to cost at least $289, $299, right, for just the screen, because that's their Apple certified thing. Jeez. Now, again, I've seen this stuff before. A screen like this costs like an iPhone 11 Pro screen or iPhone 12 Pro screen would cost at least $150 or so, mm-hmm. right? Or $100 sometimes. In the iPhone 10's case, they've dropped down all the way to $50 now. So a good iPhone 10 screen that's a replica, right, can cost mm-hmm. about $50 now.
Wow.
Now, are they going to sell it to you for $50? I don't think so.
Probably
but
not.
They're going to sell it so absurdly or ridiculously high, they make you go, wait, what? Why bother even buying those parts? I'm just going to go buy a new phone. And I that's the vibe that I'm getting right now, mm-hmm. is that they're going to take that and be like, look, you see, we put a repair program so you can just fix your phone. See, we don't have to we're good with right to repair. Go, there you go. Don't sign those policies in place, to sue us or whatever. But in reality, I feel like it might be just a show. Again, it's too soon to tell. Mm-hmm. But that's what I feel like right now. It's going to make it so absurdly expensive to make you go, oh, well, it's not even worth it to even try to bother replacing it. I'm just going to go buy a new phone. Wow. Which makes this whole thing, we're just back to square one.
Right, exactly. It amazes me what companies will do, right? No, that's very informative. Go ahead.
One more. Another thing that I'm worried about, because I've been thinking about this too, uh-huh. is that if these screens are able to, being able to be replaced and all that stuff, does that mean that can I take an iCloud locked iPhone and then just transfer over the parts from there and it wouldn't block anything or it wouldn't mess anything up?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
Or is it just going to be like they're going to software lock us? So only brand new ones are going to be able to be functional with these iPhones.
So they haven't released specific details about that?
No, they just said we're going to do it. We're going to start with iPhone screens and MacBook screens and then go from there.
Wow, geez. Yeah, well, that's definitely something we got to pay attention to, because that's important for a lot of people, obviously you included. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I guess to shift gears and another time, is there anything in particular that motivates you? So obviously the right to repair, that's
Yeah.
that motivates you a lot. But anything that motivates you for your channel in particular?
Well, back to my channel. Again, when I started growing a little bit faster on the platform, right? The big thing that I wanted was to do two things: to either entertain or to inform. And that's the big thing that I still stand by to this day. For me, it's just to be able to teach people and show people like, here's how you do this thing. Here's something that I would find interesting. You could probably find it interesting too. And at the end of the day, it motivates to be able to be like, hey, look, you didn't know this. I want to show you how to do this, or I want to show you how to do this. The biggest thing I guess I want to give you was the Joy-Con drift video that I did. Right?
Such a good video. Yeah, if anyone has a Nintendo Switch, they should know what that is, because that's something that I think everybody I know that has a Nintendo Switch has dealt with. And when I watched that video, oh, that was hilarious. Well, again, it's like you come up with these ideas, and then you like sneakily put in humor or a perspective that you wouldn't anticipate. But no, I love that video. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, like I said in that video, there's a repair program that Nintendo made available
Hmm.
that said, after all the lawsuits, they said, look, stop the lawsuits. We're giving you an option to repair these for free. The thing is, they didn't advertise them anywhere. They didn't send out emails. They didn't put anything on their Twitter, on their Instagram saying that this program was available. They just said, hey, it's there. Find it and submit your thing there. And I thought that was really crappy for them. Crappy of them to do that. So I figured, what better way to get a hold of that attention? Because again, I'm thinking there's probably, probably like a tech nerd like me will probably figure it out and be like, I'm just going to send in my Joy-Cons or whatever, right?
Hmm.
But I'm thinking about the average, 40-year-old dad who has a kid that bought him a Nintendo Switch for his kid, that now his controllers are broken, and now he has to go shell out another $80 for a pair of controllers for his kid
Hmm.
because he doesn't know that this program exists.
Right.
That bums me out. So I want to make it a simple, or again, a 16-year-old who again doesn't have the $80 to go do that because he's 16 or 15 or whatever,
Hmm.
and it wants to go buy and has to go buy a new pair of Joy-Cons because it doesn't know better. So I made it as simple as possible for anybody to be able to just understand, find the link to do this thing, fill out that form, and then go. More importantly, ship something out. Because I don't know about you, nobody in my life has ever taught me how to ship something out to UPS or USPS or
Hmm.
anything. So I want to be very clear. You put the sticker here, close the box here, find one, and then just give it to them, and they'll give you a receipt. You don't have to pay anything. It's okay, right? And I go through them step by step. Again, no one in my life has ever taught me that, and I wanted to make sure that there's like at least, for me, it was just like if 10 or 15 people manage to figure out how to
Yeah.
do this, I'll be happy. Judging by the comments, thousands and thousands of people have been able to find a way to repair the Joy-Cons, and to me, stuff like that, exactly things like that, is what motivates me to keep making videos.
Yeah. No, that's a fantastic answer, and really perspective. And if anyone hasn't watched that video, you have to, even if you don't want to fix it, or you don't even have a Nintendo Switch, just because it's neat to see the video and then read the comments. Because yeah, the top comments are all, wow, you also did a tutorial on how to ship something which my mother or father never taught me how to do, or whatever. Like those are literally the top comments.
Yeah,
But no, that again, that attention to detail, which bring things full circle, is you thought of everything going into that video, because you could have done just a basic video. Like the second half of that video could have been just a video, but that
yeah,
first half you took something that meant a lot to you, and you brought it into the video, and that's
yeah.
such a great perspective.
Thank you, thank you. So that's stuff that motivates me. Just being able to help other people, and if not help them, then entertain them.
No, that's cool. So I guess while we're on the topic of kind of what motivates you, let's do the opposite. Well, not maybe the opposite, but what is the biggest mistake that you've ever made in your YouTube career?
Not starting sooner. I think I know that sounds really cliche and corny to say that, but honestly, I had no idea the amount of potential that a platform like YouTube had before I started doing this. It was really interesting to give that a try, and when I first started, it was really fun to be able to see the numbers and all that stuff, but also being able to see like, hey, look, this is a great tutorial. In the beginning of my stages, I had people sending me, DMing me on Instagram and stuff saying, hey, I'm using your your tutorial right now to replace my Joy-Con shells to make them lavender and all that stuff. And I was like, dude, that's so cool to be able to do that and share that with somebody that I will never ever meet in real life. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to do it at a level where there's just thousands and thousands of people watching you all the time, right? And I just really wish I started sooner, because who knows where I'd be right now if not for the fact that, again, I'm just starting just now, right? I've only been doing this for about 2 years, and about a year and 6 months in, I was finally able to be to the point where I was like, I can do this full time and not worry about job.
Right.
I mean, can you just imagine where I started where I would be if I started like in 2019, 20, I mean, not 2018, 2019.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because I think Austin said pretty much the same thing. And Dean kind of said, our last two guests, they basically kind of said the same thing, just that it's amazing that we have this platform at our fingertips and so many people take it for granted. And you could create a channel, and you should. I mean, it doesn't matter on what, just make a channel, just do, it's there, it's available. And yeah, doing it sooner than later. It's like that tree analogy, a tree planted, you want to plant the tree earlier, that way it grows. And I totally understand. I feel the same way. With my business in particular, I wish we would have gone on YouTube way earlier, because that was something that we spent like a year just blogging. And don't get me wrong, the blogging works and stuff like that, but YouTube, we realized like everybody's watching these videos, and it helped us so much to bring things full circle. So yeah, that's a good mistake, because it's like, like that.
Yeah,
but
we've gotten pretty far with how, the little time that we have been on this platform. So I think we've been okay.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So I guess, what video are you most proud of then? So I guess you talked about the Joy-Con drift, but is there any other one in particular that you're like really proud of?
In terms of production and all that stuff, I'd probably see the PS4 jailbreak video. I made a video where I jailbroke a PS4. And for the most part, that was a very, very long, very, very drawn out project that I did. It took almost 2 months of from start to finish to be able to finish that one, because like a whole month was just researching and figuring how to do things and how to make things in particular, like how to like actually do the things that I want to do on the PS4. So a month of that was just dedicated straight to just researching the video itself. And on YouTube, there's really weird balance of like, there's some videos that take months and months of time to make or whatever, take forever to make, and then you get like 10K views. And then there's some videos that you take like 1 day to make, right, from start to finish, and then it gets like 100,000 views, right? It's such a weird thing that happens on YouTube, where like high reward, I mean high effort, low views sometimes, but also low effort, high views sometimes. The PS4 jailbreak video is one of those times where I feel like it was perfectly balanced. Like the effort put in was the output that came out at the end of it, because I think that video is almost at like I don't know, honestly, how much is that at?
I could check real fast.
1.2 million views, which is that's a lot of people watching.
Oh, that's huge. And it's funny you talk about the numbers, but I was just talking to my friend the other day. Like that's more than a stadium. Like I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, and like that's more people watched your video than go to like some of these NFL sporting events. Yeah,
that's obscene. That's an absurd amount of people. Like I get, bro. I took a public speaking class, which is kind of where I learned how to talk and make scripts and stuff like that. I took a public speaking class, and I had to speak in front of at the final. I had to speak in front of 50 people, and my God. That is anxiety inducing. Like you have no idea.
Right.
Just all those people just staring at you like, hey. And now to think that there's literally millions of people watching you. It's just it's so weird, dude. It's such a weird feeling. I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, for me, PS4 jailbreak video for sure, just because the effort that I put in was the effort that got taken, that was put out, which of all these people that just going, I didn't even know you could jailbreak a PS4.
Right.
When I was pitching this idea to everybody that I was talking to, everyone that I talked to would be like, yeah, I want to make a video on jailbreaking PS4. They would just tell me, I didn't know you could do that. Like that's cool. That's cool. And able to share that with people. That's super cool.
Well, same thing with your Xbox Series S video. I didn't know that. Same concept. Where I was like, wait, what? And like that kind of wait, what moment, I guarantee that helps your click-through rate and people just clicking it because they're like, I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah,
So
dude. My thumbnail for that video was literally Super Smash Bros. Running on an
I know.
Xbox, and they were like, "What?"
Yeah.
I knew I had a banger thumbnail when I saw that, bro. I was like, "Dude, they're gonna love this."
That's so cool. So, what are your future goals then? So you've established this audience. It's going great. You're making decent money. What are your future goals for your channel and your brand?
So when I think about future goals, I think about the people that are in my same niche that have managed to become successful in this and do this full time. And I'm already doing this full time, right? But at a lower level, right?
Mhm.
They're talking like full time and employ other people and like do all this other stuff. So my whole thing would love to be able to have my own studio, a designated space where I can, because at the end of the day, you got to remember, I'm just a guy. I'm just one guy making videos on his desk in his room
Mhm.
with a $300 camera and like a $50 mic. You know what I mean? That's it. People seem to forget that. Like, I'm
Mhm.
not just giant ass production. It's just one guy in his room making videos. Um, Ideally, I would love to have a space, a dedicated studio to just be able to do what I want to do, and not have to worry about is the freaking the lawnmower guy making too much noise outside, or the
Oh
neighbors being
God,
too
I know.
loud. Or yeah, no, for sure. So I'd like to have a studio. I would like to be able to hire other people to help me with this full time to be able to produce more videos, because at the moment my my workflow is just, it just takes a little bit too long for me for what YouTube demands of me.
Right.
So I want to be able to make bigger, better videos and stuff like that. I would like to be able to hire other people, like a script writer, a video editor, a producer, just to, so that way they can manage all the all the video stuff, like the
Mhm.
camera stuff, the audio stuff, and just let me do what I want to do. And eventually, yeah, just get to a point where I can do this sustainably and not have to worry about uh you know, money. I guess that's the end goal, right? Just not have to worry about money ever again.
Right.
That sounds really shallow when I say it like that, but just, I just want
No,
able to
I
not
get
have
what
to
you
worry
mean.
about, yeah,
Yeah.
just not worry about money, so I can be able to do what I want to do and show it off to the people that are interested in the same thing I am. Because as I noticed, I thought, I'm really unique. I like all this nerdy tech stuff and all that stuff. Turns out there are thousands of people just like me. There are thousands of people just like me that like all the same stuff that I do. And at this point, my target demographic is just me. My target is, if I can look at a video that I go and I go, that seems pretty cool, right? I would really like this. You know what I mean? Then I feel like I did a pretty good job in the video. If it's
Yeah.
something that I don't feel comfortable or talk about, I don't want to do a video on it because I would find that boring. You know what I mean? But
Right.
like a PS5 controller that lights up RGB and it's only been out for less than a year, bro, that's dope. All right,
Oh
running
yeah.
Super Smash Bros on an Xbox, like that's dope. I think that's dope,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Mhm.
And that's what I have in mind, just to be able to keep doing that, but with a studio, ideally, and being able to just hire other people to help me, like an MKBHD or a Linus Tech Tips or something like that. Have you seen their studio tours?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well,
Dude,
the Linus Tech Tips. Yeah, that one I
it's
did.
obscene. It's
Mhm.
obscene how much property that guy has, bro. Like it, it's ridiculous how much stuff that guy has. And well, I don't know if I'll ever make it to that level. Maybe somebody more like MKBHD who just has like a little floor dedicated to what he wants to do and just do whatever he wants. Or Snazzy Labs has an office.
Mhm.
Something like that would be really, really dope to be able to get to. So right now, my current goals, I guess, would just be, first off, hit 100K, right?
Yeah. Getting
Hit
close.
100K. Yeah, I'm getting real close. Thank you. Hit 100K, and then start looking for a studio, and the studio employment, and then employment, on from there. You know what I mean?
No,
So
that
that's it. I mean, I guess I'll leave it with this. I never thought I'd get this far so fast. I always told, my girlfriend tells me, I also was like, did you think I would ever make it this far? She said, I did, but I didn't think it was going to be this quick. Holy shit. Like,
mhm.
so yeah, like that's where I want to be in a few years or so.
Oh wow. Well, it sounds awesome. And I think that's a great future for you. And I think you're definitely going to hit those goals and you're definitely going to get there. I mean, one of the top comments that I see on all of your videos is, how does this dude not have more viewers? Like, how does this dude not? And that is normally a sign that you're going to blow up. And you already have in some instances, but man, you keep working your craft, keep doing it, and all those goals, I guarantee you'll hit them.
Thank you.
100%.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
So I guess one last question. If you were to give one piece of advice to a new creator, what would it be?
don't be afraid to rehash ideas. In my opinion, YouTube is just people rehashing ideas over and over and over again anyways. So like, it doesn't really matter if, oh, somebody else has already done this before. If you can find something that, either not a lot of people talk about, or if you look at something and go, I can do that better, go for it. There is so many videos, so many topics out there that I know for a fact that have videos on them done, sure, but there's so much more market to people to be like, I can do that better, or they're just waiting for somebody to do it better than the people that are already doing it. So yeah, at the end of the day, don't be afraid of making a video that somebody else has already done. Why? Because there is so much more room on YouTube to be able to do it better, faster, more efficiently, more informative, more detailed than somebody else. And just be okay with it. You know what I mean? I'm definitely okay with that. I've seen other people do the same thing. That I've had people take my idea, like directly 1-to-1, but they just made a video, and they made a video, but it just so happens to be in Spanish. So that happens sometimes, and I'm not tripping about it, because again, like YouTube is just, there's no point in getting fussy over, oh, that guy copied my video. Well, but like, just it's fine. At the end of the day, YouTube is just people making the same ideas over and over again with different things here and there, and that's it. So yeah, don't be afraid to just get into it. If you want to start that way, it's the best way to start, to just find something that you're really passionate about and just do that thing. You think there wasn't a million other Joy-Con drift videos out there when I made that video? Like, of course not, but I found a way that I thought I could be doing it better. That sounds shallow, but like, I feel like I could have done that better.
No, that's a great piece of advice. And I think anyone watching can definitely relate to that, because I think one of the biggest hurdles that creators and creative types have is, oh, it's already been done, or, oh, that already exists. Well, like you said, you can have your own creative spin and add on to it, make it better, make it more complex, make it, for your Joy-Con
simpler.
Right. Or simpler. Yeah. Or straight to the point. Like you were talking about earlier, like a lot of those videos, they give this, 5-10 minute intro about who knows what, but with you get to the point, but also add your creative spin, and that's what makes you stand out and makes you unique. So yeah, well, that was a great piece of advice, and I think everyone's going to really appreciate that. And I think that just about does it. So thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. But before you do go, do you have anything you want to promote or tell the audience about?
Yeah, I guess my YouTube channel would be great. Yeah, my name is Jefferson, but you guys can call me Jeff. Everyone calls me Jeff. I run a tech channel on YouTube called Dammit Jeff. If you haven't checked it out already, you might have seen one of my videos. Yeah, just come check me out. I make cool stuff all the time. I got a jailbreak Switch video coming out soon. That's going to be great. It's in works. People like keep DMing me. Is it coming out? It's coming out. It just takes forever to make these videos, as you can see now. I might just send them this video and be like, hey, listen, this is why it's taking so long, bro. It's not as easy as a 1-hour podcast to call it a day.
Right. Awesome. Okay.
That's me.
Well, yeah, great. Well, yeah, everybody check out his channel. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. This was Founders and Creators. We will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.